So we want to welcome you. And like always, a lot of different people invite people to this call. And there's a lot of different consultants for Thrive Life that do these calls and invite anybody that wants to come. So as we talk about different things, and if you have questions, you're certainly welcome to chat them in. But afterwards, get back with the person that invited you to this call. Likely a consultant probably invited you if you're not a consultant. And so get with that person if you're interested in anything that we talk about here tonight. We'll get more into that as we go on, but that's kind of the purpose of this. Lisa and I have been involved in Thrive for
it will be 13 years.
Almost 13 years.
Yep.
And it's been an amazing ride. We love it and we love sharing it. That's why we do these calls every month. We do it the second Tuesday.
Yes.
Second Tuesday of every month. I couldn't remember if today was the first Tuesday or the second. It's the second. So we do it the second Tuesday of every month. Other consultants do them on other nights during the month, but we love to have people here and we're glad that you're here. But again, if you have questions, always remember to get back with the person that invited you.
Big shout out to Tracy Taylor for monitoring our chat. Thank you so much, Tracy. And we're just glad that you joined us tonight because we have a little treat for you tonight. We always like to talk about Thrive and then cook a little bit and then just answer any questions.
Turn the camera down just a little bit so you can see things. We got all kinds of Thrive foods. Lots of cans. Move over for a second. We got all these cans back here. We got cans up here. We're going to be using all of it. So we're going to cook a couple of things up. We'll cook one, make one, some of our family favorites, and show you just how easy it is to cook with Thrive. The point of this is to show you, that Thrive isn't just for storing. It's certainly, you can do that, but it's food that you can cook with every day, and it makes things very convenient. And when you cook with it, you learn what you like, you learn what your family likes, you know how to use it. And then if you need to break into that storage for any emergency, you know what you like, how to use it.
Yeah, for sure. And we're big believers in never storing things that you're never going to eat. That makes no sense at all to me. But people do it all day long. They store things that they're never going to eat. And I always say you've got to store things that you are going to eat, because it could be an emergency just in your home where you need to use that supply of food instead of going to the grocery store. So anyway, let's get started.
All right. So we're going to share our screen here, and we've got a question. We'll have a few questions and giveaways here on this call for some Thrive credit. And these giveaways are only open to customers, non-consultants. So if you're a consultant, don't answer. You're not eligible. If you're if somebody invited you to this call and you're either a customer or maybe you're just interested in what Thrive's all about, then you're eligible. So get ready to chat this in. What % of nutrients are retained in the freeze drying process? So chat in the % that you think is retained throughout that freeze drying process. We're going to talk about that freeze drying process a little bit more, but this will let you just give us kind of a talking point. And so I need to open my chat. Can you open your chat on your computer, Lisa? It's easier to have that one. So I see a 90%, and Tracy is moderating this, and there's a couple of 90s and there's 100, and all of those are kind of in the realm, but not quite. Anybody else have a guess?
And if you guessed, you can try again.
93.
Close.
Closer. Getting warmer. Okay, we're going to give it away if nobody else has one. Okay, 96, Debbie, 97, Della. They just keep chatting in. Okay, let's see. Lori was the first to say 97, and Lori Hansing. So the answer is 98%, but 97, 98, there's not an exact amount, but it's in that range of about 97 to 98%. And that's something that's really cool because there is no other process where you can store food for long term and have it retain all those nutrients. We're going to get into more about why all of those nutrients are retained in the freeze drying process. So mark that one down, Tracy. Lori won that. So speaking of freeze drying, this is one of Thrive Life's freeze dryers. And they're really big. This is just the end of it. And it goes back about maybe 25 feet deep. And at this time, they had 2 freeze dryers. When they first got freeze dryers, it was probably 7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah.
They ordered 2 freeze dryers. And then they immediately reached the capacity on those. And so they added a 3rd. And then last year, actually, I think it was a couple years ago, they ordered 3 more.
Yeah.
3 more to double the capacity. But because of COVID, those were delayed and they didn't get online until I believe last summer. So then they had 6 freeze dryers. They maxed those out. And so they ordered 6 more, which are being delivered this spring. They may be there, they may be being installed now, which basically doubles the capacity again up to 12 freeze dryers. Well, they realized that this market is just booming and there's such high demand. They realized they had to grow this on a much bigger scale. So what did they do?
They merged.
They bought another company.
Another freeze drying company.
You're right. They bought a freeze drying company out of California that has in the range of 50 freeze dryers. And these are all different sizes. They're not all as big as this one. These are like the biggest industrial freeze dryers in the picture here. But this company has some like this, some smaller, all different sizes, but it gives us a huge capacity to scale this because freeze-dried food has really started to become mainstream. We were in Texas this last week and went to Trader Joe's, and they have all kinds of freeze-dried products in there, freeze-dried fruits, freeze-dried vegetables, freeze-dried snacks. You go to the grocery store, sometimes even the convenience store, and they have freeze-dried products in there. So freeze-dried foods are really becoming mainstream. When we were kids, who ate freeze-dried?
The astronauts.
Yeah, the astronauts ate it, and sometimes backpacking, and it wasn't that great. But freeze-drying has come a long way, and the taste is amazing now. And really, once you make a dish with freeze-dried food, you can't tell whether it's freeze-dried or from the grocery store. It really tastes the same. We're going to show you a little bit more about that. Speaking of the grocery store, if you've been in the grocery store in the last couple of years, you know there have been all kinds of supply chain issues. Doesn't always look like this, but some of the aisles might look like this. There are items that go out of stock sometimes for days, sometimes weeks, sometimes months. And we have to find alternative things. And so people are realizing more and more that it's a real delicate supply chain. And my background before Thrive Life, I was a supply chain manager. And I used to always tell this to people. Most people, at least back then, 10 years ago, thought that at the grocery store, they had everything on the shelves and then they had more of it in the back. And really, that's not the case. What you see on the shelves is pretty much it. Yes, some stuff comes in on pallets, but then the night crew comes in, they break it down, they put it back on the shelves. So there isn't a bunch of food in the back. No. What you see is what they have. And all it takes, we've seen this, is a small disruption, whether it's weather or trucking or fuel or labor or just all kinds of different things can disrupt that. And it can take weeks or months to get back on track. And so people are realizing the value of having some foods on hand. And that's where Thrive comes in. This freeze-dried food will stay in in the can for 25 years, has a 25-year shelf life, but then even after you pop it open, depending on your climate, it can last 1 to 2 years on your shelf. And so you can have the convenience of having these foods on hand. And like we decided to make what we're going to make tonight, and we didn't have to go to the grocery store. We just have everything on hand. We go in our pantry, pulled out the cans, and we're ready to cook a meal. So that's one of the things that people are realizing more and more, the value of having this freeze-dried food on hand and why the market is booming so much and why we're really excited to be part of it. So I'm not going to go into this, but just more news articles about supply chain issues. Inflation all over the world is causing food prices to rise. Interestingly enough, food prices have gone up dramatically over the last couple of years, Thrive Life has really held their prices, other than a few things here and there, has not had an across the board price increase since I think the fall of 2020. And they're not going to be able to keep doing that forever. They're going to have to raise the prices here because everything they're buying. What's that?
I think they just raised them.
Oh, okay. They just raised them. Maybe you're too late. But anyway, the food is increasing like crazy. And you'll see some of these cans we have here are these white labels, and others are these colored labels. The colored ones are the older cans. And I love when we break into one of these old cans, because I know that we bought that food at old prices, like 2015, 2016 prices. And even though stuff seems expensive now, in 5 years, it's probably going to be a lot more expensive. Yeah, Tracy's got a bunch of the colored ones. And so, hey, that stuff's bargain price, right? I paid a lot less for that. Well, if you buy stuff now and then you use it in 5 years, 10 years, it's going to be a lot less expensive than the prices they're going to be at that time. And so really, it can be kind of a hedge against inflation. Another picture of the freeze dryers. Another thing that freeze dryers allows us to do is control more of that supply chain. So we work directly with growers and producers all over the North America. And it allows us, when these growers are growing their crops, they have identified what products are going to come to Thrive Life. And so they're already allocated to us when the crops are in the ground. And then they harvest them and they flash freeze them immediately. And then they ship them to Thrive Life, where they're held in minus 40-degree coolers until they're ready to be freeze dried. And we are able to control, really from the farm to the table, a lot more of that supply chain, which means that even though we have products go out of stock, typically it's only for days or a week or two, because we have the product there. It's just a matter of getting it into the freeze drying rotation, where a lot of other companies that are relying on all different kinds of suppliers for these things are waiting sometimes months. One company last year, a freeze dried food company, actually had to suspend operations for about 3 months because they just couldn't get food. And fortunately, we're in a position where we don't have that problem, because we work with the growers, we do our own freeze drying, we do our own packaging, and so we're in a really good position that way to handle the increased demand of freeze dried foods. So now Lisa's going to talk a little bit more about the food.
Okay, so Thrive food is just simple, clean food. It doesn't have any preservatives, no added sugars. A lot of our stuff is gluten-free, definitely 100% non-GMO. We have something called the Nutri-Lock Promise, the Nutri-Lock Promise. And this is a promise that we are checking every product before it goes in the freeze dryers and then after. And we want to make sure that we have no pesticides, no herbicides in our foods. And we work with our ranchers and growers, like Jeff said, so that we make sure that the food is coming in and it always is very clean. And also we have a quality control that makes sure, like the pineapple always looks the same, or the asparagus or whatever we're bringing in, it always looks the same and it has that same great flavor. And so we just think that the nutrient value of this food, and we kind of tout ourselves as the whole foods company and freeze drying. A lot of companies out there put freeze dried stuff in buckets and things like that, but there's a lot of added salts.
Yeah, they make like meals, like they'll put everything together,
like teriyaki chicken or something like that. But on each of our can, you'll notice that this is corn, and corn just has corn in it.
Yeah, if you look at the ingredients right there, the only ingredient is, I don't know if it's in focus, the only ingredient is corn. So there's no additives or preservatives.
Right. All right. So here's the benefits of freeze drying. Remember these: taste, nutrition, no preservatives, and it will have that 25-year shelf life. I love keeping these things on my shelf because it's kind of like farmers market food. I'm a big blueberry mushroom girl. I love these things. but I hated these things because I would go to the store and I would buy them and I'd put them in my fridge. And then what do I find that 2 days later? Moldy blueberries, moldy mushrooms. So when I met Thrive Life, they said, well, you won't have that problem anymore. You won't waste your food because you can have them on your shelf and they will stay fresh for a year. And in Utah, we have a very dry climate and they stay actually good for 2 years on my shelf. So
after you open the can.
After you open the can. But if I wanted to store them, which I do because I love blueberries and mushrooms, they're going to last me 25 years. So I love that. And I love that they have the farmer's market nutrition.
Yep.
Yep.
So question number 2, and this is again only for consultants, non-consultants, non-consultants.
And this is for a $10 Thrive credit. How far on average does produce travel to get to your grocery store?
All right, so chat it in. How many miles do you think on average? If you're in Canada, you could say kilometers. We'll have Tracy convert it. But how many miles on average does food travel to get? So Lori says 1,400. Any others? 1,000, 2,000. Okay, Debbie, Gail, 500.
You're gonna have to remind me.
So we're going to give it to, let's see, we're going to give it to Debbie. I think that's Debbie. So it's about 1,200 miles. Again, depends on where you live, but on average, about 1,200 miles it travels to get to your store. Some things might be grown closer, like we grew up in California and a lot of things were grown closer. But on average, you got stuff coming from South America, from the Midwest, all over the place. And so it does travel a long time. And so what that means is it has to be picked before it's fully ripe, if it's produce. Right.
I know nobody's probably familiar with this picture, but I'm very familiar. I love bananas. And literally I will go and get my bananas at the store. And then 2 days later, they are banana bread ready. They are just brown. And most of the time they have traveled so far to get
bananas
there.
Usually from South America.
Yes, bananas are usually from South America. And so they travel a long distance. So by the time they hit your home, they usually turn brown. And I would guarantee you that there's not a whole lot of nutrition in your browning bananas.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and the reason is because they have to pick them early. Produce can take anywhere from a week or 2 up to months to get from being picked to the grocery store. Apples usually are picked like months and months in advance and then held in cold storage until they're shipped to the store. And so they never fully ripen on the vine. And we know, like tomatoes, for example, when they're on the vine and you let them ripen fully, they have way more flavor, way more nutrients than if you pick them when they're green and then stick them on your counter and let them ripen, right? Yeah. Same thing with pretty much all produce. And so the difference with freeze-dried in us working directly with the growers is that we tell the growers, leave it on the vine until it's fully ripened. Then they pick it, then they flash freeze it, ship it to us, we freeze dry it. And so it has more flavor, more nutrients than what you would get at the grocery store. We like to call it fresher than fresh. And that's why we say it's very similar to a farmer's market, because farmer's market is picked locally and it's in the market in a day or 2. And that's very similar to what the kind of nutritional value and taste that you get with freeze dried. So here's just some of the numbers of, Lisa, you want to just go over these? Yeah.
So vitamin C content in spinach is lost within 4 days. These are just some stats. Vitamin C content.
This is regular, fresh from the grocery store.
Yeah. Vitamin C content in pears, mangoes, and pineapple is lost within a week. By week, does that say 1?
No, 1. Week 1.
By week 1. So I know we go to our grocery stores thinking we're buying nutrient dense foods, when in fact we're not. So you can read that data and you can see that. Now, when you open a can of broccoli, there's 52% more vitamin B in that. Freeze-dried raspberry, one of my favorites. And I do believe maybe it's not on sale this month, but anyway, I thought it was on sale this month. But one of my favorites. And 52% more phytonutrients in raspberries. So good for you.
Mhm.
So we have a lot of grandchildren. We're about to get twins here, twin boys, and we're so excited. But to add to the tribe. And anyway, but here's a couple of our grandkids, and you can see they have their little piles, a little pile of cheese, little raspberry, little yogurt. I mean, they love it all. And they would prefer to eat freeze-dried food over regular food.
Yeah, whenever they come to our house, they go into our pantry and they'll grab their favorite cans
Yes.
of things. Yeah.
All right.
All right. So should we
Yeah,
get
let's
cooking?
start cooking.
All right. So I'm going to unshare the screen. So we go to full screen and we're going to do a little bit of cooking.
All right. So tonight, we have a price list that comes out every single month. And I decided I'm going to make something because
a price list. You mean
a flyer.
A flyer.
Sorry.
For sale items, monthly special.
Yes. So here's April's flyer, and we also include a couple of recipes. And so I'm here, throw and go beef tacos. I'm going to do those tonight because tacos are probably way up on my list as far as favorite foods. So I'm just going to get started. I've never done this recipe before, but I do have everything in my pantry for these. So Jeff, do you want to read those instructions? Here's some, oh, you've got glasses, good.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do
There's
I
your
need first?
raspberries.
There they are.
Okay.
Right here.
So 2 cups of ground beef. So
heat and that, yeah, give me the instructions.
all right, heat the skillet, medium, drizzle some olive oil.
Okay.
And so it says, heat up some olive oil and then toast the onion slices. And
Okay.
this is a little trick. The onion slices will heat up and cook pretty fast. So you got to keep them moving. You have a,
Yeah, you need to get me a thing to move. So we're just adding dry, these are called these are our slices. That was on the red.
Yep.
Sliced
So
onions.
they'll just soak up that oil and you just got to keep them moving. It doesn't take long and they'll toast and
Yeah.
kind of gives them that caramelized
Isn't there
flavor.
something else?
And then add the ground beef.
Okay, so
Just like you would with cooking, you know, you add your meat and your onions.
so the
and-
ground beef is already cooked. A little tip, if you use this in, if you have grandchildren, they may not like it so chunky. I just smash mine up a little bit more, but for these tacos, I'm good with it. So we're just gonna put that in the pan. 2 cups of ground beef. All right, and just kind of stir those around with your toasted onions. Okay, what's next?
Add the corn, black beans, and water.
Okay, corn. How much corn?
Corn is
Okay.
1 cup.
1 cup corn. So there's our corn, that beautiful
And
yellow corn.
We didn't rehydrate anything ahead of time. Everything's going in dry, and that's fine. If you have a liquid in your recipe, you can just add the liquid in. You don't have to do it ahead of time and soak everything.
Yeah. Okay. You said corn, what?
Corn, beans.
Beans. Okay. So I did, you can use our, what are they called?
Instant black beans.
Instant black beans, but I had a can of black beans, so I'm going to just add those. And this will, I drained off most of the juice, but it's going to add a little liquid to my dish. So, okay, what's
And then
next?
the water.
Then the water.
2 cups of water.
2 cups of water. I'm going to add a little bit of beef bouillon, and that's because I want to bring that hamburger back to life. So I like to add the juice back in that was extracted from the hamburger. So I just put a little bit of bouillon. If you don't like bouillon, if you don't want it in there, you can just go with the plain old water. But I just like to infuse a little flavor back into my ground beef. I do it with my chicken as well. And I put a little chicken bouillon into my chicken dishes. Okay, is there some taco seasoning?
Place beef mixture in taco. That's it.
No, there's some.
Add salt and pepper. Let simmer 5 to 7 minutes.
Okay, so taco seasoning, and then it said add salt and pepper, but I always use our chef's choice. I put this on everything, so it gives it more flavor. And so that's what I'm using is our chef's choice all-purpose seasoning for my salt and pepper. We use this on everything to kind of flavor things up. And then I thought just to add a little color, I'm going to add our cilantro. I know these cans are probably back ordered right now. We are having a hard time getting just the cans. They've been on back order, but when they come back in, get your cilantro, get your chef's choice. Super good. And this green just adds a little kick, and it also adds a little bit of green color to this.
Yep.
All right, so
All right,
we're gonna let
got
that
it.
simmer. And then Jeff is gonna do, I wanted him to show you his homemade salsa that we make all the time. And it is so yummy. And we'll use that in this taco dish.
Okay, so if you can't tell, we love Mexican food, and I love salsa, and we make a batch of it pretty much every week. And so I'm going to show you a really simple, fast way to make it. So I use fresh tomatoes. We do have freeze-dried tomato dices that you can use, but just, I grab a few tomatoes at the grocery store. This is 4 tomatoes. I just cut them into quarters just so that they're a little easier to work with. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a bunch of freeze-dried ingredients, and I've got them all behind me because I didn't have room. So and I don't measure anything. It doesn't matter. If you like onions, put a lot of onions. If you don't like onions, leave them out or put more. But I'm going to add some onions. Then I'm going to add some red bell peppers. I'm going to add some green bell peppers. I'm going to add some green chili peppers. These are
Go easy on the chili
fantastic.
peppers.
They are strong. So if you like a little more kick, put more. If not, don't put so many, but they're strong. I'm going to put just maybe a tablespoon of those green chili peppers. These are great for tacos, burritos, any kind of Mexican food. They really add a great flavor and a little punch. Okay, so now if I can find my lid, all I'm going to do is just pulse this, and the liquid that is in the tomatoes is going to rehydrate all the vegetables. So here goes a little noise. And I just do it until all the vegetables are sucked down in. And you can see that it's everything's mixed. Now, I'm gonna throw in, you could do lime juice. We have limeade, and it's seasonal. I don't think we have it right now, but when it comes in stock, we always pick up a couple of cans of it. And I'm gonna throw in a little bit of the limeade. I throw in some rice vinegar. And I'm just putting, Lisa, can you see any of those? I see people chatting. So I put about a tablespoon of the rice vinegar. And then this is my secret weapon. This is tomato powder. And this gives it a really, really good, flavorful tomato flavor, even if your tomatoes aren't super ripe. And let me just grab a spoon out of here. And I just throw in about a tablespoon of this. And it also kind of will thicken up your salsa a little bit.
It's really good.
And so I'm just going to pulse it a little bit more. And I'm going to throw in a little bit of salt. And I just do these things just to taste. I kind of know now after making this every week how much to put, but I'm going to put in about a teaspoon of kosher salt. And that's it. That's all there is to it. And put it in the fridge, let it sit for the longer, the better.
Sometimes we do overnight, sometimes it's a few hours, depending on how much time we have.
Yeah, it doesn't take long at all for the freeze-dried stuff to rehydrate, maybe 10 minutes. It'd be ready to go. But the longer you can let it sit, the more it just takes all those flavors and just melds them all together.
Right. So I think we're ready to build some tacos here. So we've got our shells here. So we're just going to load these up. Let me get my.
There's that salsa.
So this It's really yummy looking. Smells wonderful. I don't know if you guys can see that. And you just put that in your taco. Jeff, you want to bring the cheese? I use some freeze-dried cheese that we're going to top these tacos with, and a little lettuce, and then Jeff's salsa. So easy. Okay. So the freeze-dried cheese, you just put a little bit of cold water to that and put it in the fridge as long as you can. But it really does hydrate in about 15 or 20 minutes. So we'll just add the cheese there so it can melt a little bit on top of our hot stuff. Will you hand me the tongies? And then a little bit of lettuce and a little bit of salsa. And we are set. Go. Some of Jeff's salsa.
So you can kind of see how quick and easy it is to cook with Thrive. The reason that we love it and it's so quick and easy is everything is already prepped for you. You don't have to spend all the time washing, thawing, peeling, chopping. Everything just, you take out of the can what you need, and you cook it, and you put the lids back on, you put it back in your pantry. So there's those tacos. And what was it? Maybe 10 minutes to make those? Okay, I'm going to try one.
You might need a plate because they kind of go everywhere. Yummy, good flavor. Okay, so I was just going over, maybe I'll go over this at the end, but I just noticed that the tomato powder is on sale during our spring sale, which is coming up April 19th to the 25th. So mark your calendar because that tomato powder is on sale. Let's see what other, these instant black beans. If I'm not mistaken, this is going to be a special offer on the instant black beans. So get your black beans. I know that I'm out right now, and that's why I use the regular black beans, but I need to stock up on those. Some other little goodies that they've got going on sale is like the instant red beans, instant pinto beans, even the gluten-free flour.
So this is our spring sale that starts April 19th.
Right.
Is it April 19th for everyone, or is that consultant?
And that's the 19th through
So
the 25th.
the 19th, the 18th is open to consultants, and then the 19th is open to customers. This is our biggest sale so far of the year. We usually do a couple of big sales a year, and this is a big one.
Yeah.
So, you know, like Lisa said, there's some things that the tomato powder is really a go-to because you can use it for something like salsa, spaghetti sauce, marinara sauce, tomato soup, you know, anything that would need a tomato punch. That's your go-to, right? That's really good. All right, so let's just talk a little bit more about, we got another question, or we're going to talk about waste. You want to talk about this?
None of you have ever wasted any food, right? I mean, every woman, we always have good intentions, and they go in the refrigerator, and then I'm always finding gems. I knew that I was probably wasting about $50 to $100 in food a month, just by good intentions.
Yeah. So let's do a question.
Okay, another $10.
Yep. Non-consultants only. You want to read that?
Okay, what percentage of food, what percentage of the average family food budget goes to waste? And this is from a study from Harvard or some business school.
I think it's actually the I can't remember. It'll come
show
up
you.
on the next screen.
Okay.
But yeah, this is an official study. What percent of the average family's food budget goes to waste? So chat it in. We got a 35, a 35, a 30. Della, is that Della? Okay, we're going to give it to Della. Della is, all of those are very close. And I'll tell you that this is probably a range, and everybody's a little bit different. But this study, which is the American Journal of Agricultural Economics, was 32%. So Della, you get it, about $2,000 a year.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money, isn't it?
That is a lot of money, right? You could do a lot with that.
Yep. So like Lisa said, when we first started with Thrive, we realized we were throwing hundreds of dollars a year, thousands away.
And I had to kind of convince him that this was a better way to go. But he, at first it was like, no, that's too expensive. But my whole thing was, A, we're saving money on our grocery bill, but B, we're trying out things that we're going to store long-term. So it really does make sense to buy things in the pantry cans, which are the smaller cans. If you're just new to Thrive, get them in the smaller can. If you love them, go up to the number 10 cans and store them. But this is what we kind of buy our groceries in, or the little cans.
Yep. So speaking of getting groceries and getting the actual cans, let's talk a little bit about that.
Okay.
You.
I can't see.
You know what this is.
Okay, so this screen is all about, paying retail. We don't want anybody to pay retail. We want you to get wholesale pricing. And so the number one way to do that is just go on our delivery service. So what does that mean to go on a delivery service? Month after month, you'll be able to get the foods that you want. But if you want to stop for a month or pause it or change the date, but you'll always get a chance to change the foods in your delivery service. But it allows you to buy at wholesale pricing. So even if you just want to buy it for 1 month, we recommend that you do the delivery service. And then you also get free shipping on anything over $100. And so the total savings is 27%. Yeah. So we love that about our delivery service.
Yep. And like Lisa mentioned, you get an email notification before each shipment. You can customize the order, change the date, skip, pause, cancel anytime. You're in control. A little while back, I was talking to my sister, and she got on the delivery service a few years back. And maybe 2 or 3 years into it, we were talking to her, and she says, I went down to my basement and I opened the door where we put all of our Thrive, and I realized I've got a supply of food, a big storage of food. And it gives me such peace of mind to know that that's there for my family in case of emergencies. And she really did it just by getting a little bit every month and not really feeling like she broke the bank to do it. Just a little bit at a time. And before she knew it, she had a really good supply of food. Someday your goal could be to have like Tracy has behind her. That would be the ultimate goal. And
I also, speaking of people that we spoke to, I spoke to a gal that was trying to get a food supply during COVID. Well, that was probably like she needed the food now. So I just said, go on the delivery, spend about $100 a month to get the free shipping. She lives in Phoenix, Arizona, but she was so grateful that she had a way to get it. And she still is a really good customer, and she loves the food, and she's trying it out so that she can store for her family.
Yep. Okay, so another thing we have is a referral program. So you can actually earn credit just by sharing Thrive with others. And so when you give people, everybody can get a referral code that's unique to them. And then when you share that code and someone uses it to order, they get 15% off their order, but you also get 10% in credit. So there's a couple of different ways you do it. You just log into your account on our website. If you don't have an account, then you can create one. You don't even have to purchase in order to create one. You can just create an account. And then you go to this where it says refer a friend. And then you click copy link. And you can copy that link and share it on social media, through an email, a text, or you can just put people's names and emails here, and the system will send out an email with your referral link. But the cool thing about it is if you sent this out to a few people, and let's just say several people order and combined they order $1,000 worth of product, you're going to get $100 in free.
Yeah.
Okay, that you can use. So it's just a way. We don't spend our marketing budgets on advertising on radio and TV or billboards. We do it through word of mouth, through consultants, and also our customers who love our food, love to tell their friends and family about it. So that's a kind of a fun way that you can earn free food. But if you really want to level up and get free food and earn some income, being a consultant is really the way to go. You want to talk a little bit about that?
We always encourage people to be a consultant, whether you're the go-to person in your family, or you just think, hey, this is a hot market, I'd like to get in and make some money, or you just like to get a little rebate on your food, you can do that as well. We encourage people that want to make a little business like part-time. We have moms that are just trying to pay for dance lessons. And then we have consultants like Jeff and I who have been doing this for 13 years, and this is what we do. And so it just really, and we're very, very flexible. You don't have to hit a quota every month or anything like that. So it's like the perfect little thing for you to do, to be able to, if you do want to make a commission check, I would recommend being a consultant, because who doesn't need an extra check in the house, right?
Yep. It is really a really growing market that people want and need. So it's really a fun thing to be a part of. And again, if you're interested in getting on the delivery, purchasing the product, being a consultant, you'll want to get with the person that invited you tonight, and they can answer all your questions. But we're just going to talk really quickly, just a broad overview about how consultants earn money. So the really cool thing that made me sit up and take notice of Thrive Life when I first heard about it is that you can earn residual income. What that means is what Warren Buffett said: if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you'll work until you die. Residual income is a way to make money while you sleep, because you sell once and you get paid over and over and over again. For example, 13 years ago, Lisa did the first home party right here in our kitchen, and she still earns commission on people who order month after month after month from that home party that we did 13 years ago. And so that residual income just keeps coming in month after month. So if life happens and you need to take a step back for a while, you can still have income coming in. And so that's something that we really like about it. It's a very balanced commission plan. So it's not like just a few people make a lot of money and nobody else makes any. Like Lisa said, it's whatever you put into it. If you want to make dance lessons for your kids, you can do that. If you want to earn a car payment, if you want to earn a mortgage payment, we can help you do that. There's a way to do it. And we have people who have come into the business in just the past year or two who are earning more money than we are after 13 years. And so it's not a matter of, oh, we're getting in late, or, we can't make as much as the people above us. There's no limit to what you can earn, whether you just want to,
and I feel like it's such a ground floor opportunity because the market is so hot right now.
Yeah. So there's two ways to order: one-time deliveries or one-time orders, and a delivery order that Lisa talked about. As a consultant, when someone does a one-time order, you earn 10% commission. Now, when they do a one-time order, they pay retail, and they don't get the free shipping. And so most people will actually want to order through the delivery. And when they order through the delivery, you make a bigger commission, anywhere from 10 to 28%. And it's on a sliding scale, and it just depends on your volume of new deliveries for that month. And the higher that volume is, the higher your commission goes. And then after the first couple of months, you actually earn 5% residual for as long as they do their delivery. So if someone, like we have people that have been on the delivery service for 10 or 12 years, they order every month, we earn 5% every single month that they order. Now, this is just, I'm not going to go into all the details on this, but this is the sliding scale. So like if you were to do $200 in new deliveries in a month, your total volume, you'd make 10%. But if you do $1,000 in new deliveries, so like say you got 10 people who did $100 deliveries, your commission would go to 12%. So it goes up the higher your volume. But then you see this bottom line that says builder bonus, and these numbers are doubled. Well, when you earn builder bonus, your commission actually doubles on all of the new business for that month. So for example, if you were going to earn $500 in new delivery orders, if you do builder bonus, that would double and you would earn $1,000. The company pays you double just to do kind of the basics that they expect consultants to do who really want to grow their business. And what builder bonus means is you just get 8 points in a month. And their points come from new deliveries and new consultants who join your team. You get 1 point for a new delivery, 2 points for a new consultant. So Lisa, ask me a question. Give me a quiz.
So Jeff, if you got 3 new deliveries
Okay, that's 3 points.
and you got 5 new consultants.
That's 10 points. I'd have 13 points.
Would
I'd
you
have builder bonus.
do-
Yeah, so it could be 8 new deliveries would be 8 points, or 6 deliveries and 1 consultant, or 4 consultants, any combination that gets you to 8 points or more, you would earn builder bonus. There are people who do builder bonus every single month. People on this call tonight who just hit it every single month. And it's a way that they can double their commission. And so it's a cool thing that the company does just to kind of help us grow our businesses. Same thing for consultant enrollments. You're paid on consultant enrollments. Your same sliding scale. Well, it's not the same scale, but as your volume goes up, you get paid a higher percentage, and that doubles when you do builder bonus.
Yep.
We talked about this, what builder bonus is. There are other ways you can earn income. We have a premier bonus pool where the company actually takes 2% of the commissionable earnings each month and divides that out amongst the consultants who earn points. They earn shares. There are ways that you can earn these pool shares, and then you're paid out. And we have consultants, again, who just in the pool shares alone are making anywhere from a few hundred to a few $1,000s a month on top of their regular commissions. So that's another way that the company kind of gives back and incentivizes us. You make an override on your team sales. So if you decide you want to really grow a business and grow a team, then you get an override on their sales. And then you can also earn free and half off product, Thrive credit. So there's lots of other benefits. We do an annual trip every year. Where are we going this year?
Cancun.
Mexico, Cancun. We're going to Cancun. So you could get in right now, and the earning period ends the end of August, I think.
Yes.
And you could earn that trip between now and the end of August. There are people that started in February, people who have already earned the trip. So yeah, that's another fun thing. Lots of fun perks. We're doing a convention this summer in Salt Lake City. And so lots of ways that you can earn money, but also just be part of a really fun business. So whether, like Lisa said earlier, you just want to earn enough money to get free, or not even earn money, if you just want to get free product
Maybe
that
you
you
just wanna
can
pay for your
purchase your own,
delivery.
pay for your delivery, you can do that. If you want to pay for your kids' activities, you can do that. If you want to earn a real serious income, you can do that. Really, it's whatever you want to make of it. You can do it with Thrive Life. So our last question for a giveaway. What are the 4 benefits of freeze drying? Remember, Lisa mentioned them earlier, and she said, remember these 4. And there are other ones. And so if you get any 4 benefits that we've talked about tonight, we're going to give you another $10 in Thrive credit. So chat it in, the 4 benefits. Anybody remember? I don't see anything in the chat.
Is Tracy saying something?
I think she knows what the 4
Oh,
benefits
she knows.
are. I just want to eat these tacos. They smell so good. Nutrients. Okay, that's 1. Whoever can get the most out of the 4. So Lori, quick, put in some more, because you got to get more than just 1. Okay, freshness, convenience, long-lasting nutrients. I think we can go with that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's Carol.
Carol.
Excellent, Carol. So there's lots of benefits. The long shelf life is 1. The nutrients, the taste, the freshness, the convenience.
25 years shelf life.
No added preservatives. So lots of different things. But there are a lot of benefits to it. We love it. We eat it every day, and it gives us real peace of mind to know that we know how to use it. We know what we like. And so in case of an emergency, if we had to rely on our food, we would be in a position to be able to do that. We have lots of people who we've helped to be able to get to that level, and they're very grateful for it. Tracy,
go.
Sorry, I need Debbie to send me her email. I have them for the rest. I just need Debbie to send me her email, and I sent her a private message, but she might not have seen it.
okay, I wonder if she's still on.
Yeah, she's there. I see her.
So Debbie, just in the chat, put your email in there. You can do it privately to Tracy if you want.
Yeah, she just did. Perfect.
Okay,
Thank you,
go.
Debbie.
You're golden.
Perfect.
All right. thank you to everybody who participated tonight. Glad a few people won some credit. What we'll do is we'll put those credits into your account. So if you have a customer account now, it'll just be going into that. If you don't have an account, all you need to do is go to the consultant's website, invited you here, set up an account. Basically, it's just, name, email, some basic information, right?
Yeah.
No credit card. And you can set up an account, and then we will deposit that Thrive credit into your account. And then you can use it towards any products that you want. All right, just to wrap up.
Okay, so this was about 13 years ago. I was introduced to Thrive Life, and I was excited. I was on fire, and I wanted to share this amazing food with everybody. And I had no idea that my little goal of, okay, maybe I'll just make a car payment at first. These were my small little goals that I had for my little business. And I had no idea that after 2 years of building this business, Jeff would be able to come home from corporate America and work this business with me. So it's been a dream of ours, and it has allowed us to do things with our family. Like I said, we do this full time. So we just love the food. We love the people in this business. We are people, we just love all the people in this business that have come into this business, and they're just amazing, aren't they? Yep. And so we have just loved the journey, and it's been up and down and around the corner, but we're still here after 13 years. And we just hope that you will become a customer, or maybe even think about being a consultant. And thank you for joining us tonight. We sure had a wonderful time cooking for you, and just really expressing how we feel about this food. And we hope that you will take the time to get with the person that told you to come here tonight, and talk to them, and see what you'd like to do with the business, or be a customer. We have this fantastic sale coming up at the end of the month. You do not want, it's actually next week. And so you don't want to miss our spring sale. It's coming up, and I'm so excited for it. And now would be a good time, if you're thinking about being a consultant, to just jump in.
Yep. Thanks for joining us. And like Lisa said, get with the person that invited you, and we will see you next month. Have a great April. Bye.
Bye, guys.